one of the main things that we focus on, especially with books. I'm an avid, voracious reader. I love reading, and all of my books have little stick-it notes coming out of it and highlighted and written in and thoughts and everything. And, we find more and more often books become shelf-help instead of self-help. And, I personally believe, and I apologize, this is a long kind of road to the question, but I personally believe that books are some of the best material you can ever get, because it's sometimes, in essence, 5, even 10 years of an individual's thoughts, ideas, refinements that go onto these pages. Do you believe that, like you said in your 3 Feet from Gold story, where this information that you've collected from these books started to really rise to the surface when you faced that horrible adversity? Do you believe that we have to kind of hit this wall before we start applying the information? I mean, we can have all the information in the world. It's the application of the information that truly is transformational. Do you think that we gotta kind of come to this breaking point before we actually start using any of it?
I wish not. I'm going to quote one of my favorite authors, Patrick Lencioni. He's one of my favorites. And he writes in one of his books, I believe that it was Politics, Silos, and Turf Wars. He says, what must we wait for a crisis to be really effective? And that was one of the themes of the book. I mean, when he was looking at effectiveness and groups and teams that were just highly effective, he found one group that was just spot on all of the time, and it was the emergency room in a hospital that was otherwise riddled with politics and bureaucracy, but not in the emergency room. And when he asked the administrator, why are there no signs of that in the emergency room, she looked a little stunned and she said, because they don't have time, right? They're so focused on the mission all of the time. And his point was, do we have to wait for a crisis so that we can become effective? I'm like you. I read constantly, and I have a queue of reading all of the time. And mine are all marked up as well. And I also sort of journal, but I try to pull out what are the things that are actionable for me. That's one of the disciplines that I'm really taking on. What am I going to apply and start practicing right now in my life? Something that will allow me to begin to transform this information. In other words, I don't want to just read it and know it. I don't want to just check off another book that I read. I want to say, what have I taken from this and how am I going to put it into practice in my life? And I kind of think if you get 2 or 3 of those from each book that you read, by the time you're done on this earth, you're going to be pretty darn good.